No one buys a minivan to impress the neighbors or induce envy at the country club. People buy minivans because they need minivans. But before you throw shade on all vehicles that seem to be associated with estrogen, it's worth noting that Mark Wahlberg drives a Sienna minivan, as do I. I'll let you guess who is more likely to rearrange your face for taunting him in traffic for driving something with sliding doors. I suggested a minivan for a friend who's taking her family on vacation in Hawaii. She said her marital vows preclude the use of a minivan for the duration of their union. Well, good luck with that vacation. I'm sure your teenagers won't be cranky at all after spending hours in the back seat of a convertible with luggage on their lap. Toyota says they're the only company currently offering an all-wheel drive minivan in the United States. While that may not sound like a big deal to you, it's a big deal to people who live on a hill in places where it snows. As a matter of fact, the Sienna all-wheel drive is also a champ in other types of bad weather. I wouldn't want to go rock crawling in a minivan, but from experience I can assure you having power available to all four wheels is a huge advantage in this minivan. Now, there's some other major advantages of a minivan like the Sienna over the typical SUV. The load floor is generally lower, the sliding doors are power, the back hatch is power, and the greenhouse is really, really big. Additionally, Toyota's mobility program is one of the best in the car business. Here's what all that means. The load floor being lower means it's easier to get people and things and dogs in and out of the Sienna than it is of other vehicles. The mobility program means that certain parts of the Sienna are configured to make it easier to install a lift chair and also make it easier to get physically challenged people into and out of the Sienna. The big greenhouse means that visibility in the Sienna is excellent. Toyota has even solved the problem of A-pillar blind spots by putting a glass cutout in the posts that hold up the windshield. Forward-looking blind spots are a particular problem for shorter people who drive in cities. Thick, crowded A-pillars can make it very difficult for smaller drivers to see children or dogs in crosswalks, especially when making a right turn. This is really important to test if you're under a certain height and drive in congested areas a lot. Another advantage of the Sienna is that you can tranquilize your offspring with electronic sedatives like Blu-ray discs and video games when they're in the second or third row. A fully optioned Sienna has wireless headphones that connect to the flip-down video screens. Two 110-volt power outlets, one in the back of the center console and another one in the back near the tailgate. Not only does this allow your kids to plug in their video games, it also allows mom and dad, or dad and dad, or mom and mom, to charge the laptop or video camera. The optional second row sunroof is the size of a wading pool. Captain's chairs in the second row also recline, making the Sienna a wonderful choice for executive transportation. The ride of the all-wheel drive Sienna is luxurious even with run-flat tires. Some vehicles with run-flats can be jarring, but not so with the Sienna. The only negative thing about the Sienna all-wheel drive is the mileage. It's not a gas pig, but anything this upright with this much power is going to be a bit thirsty. The Sienna is plenty fast, meaning that it can get you and your family out of the way or on your way without breaking into a cold sweat while merging. The Sienna has a 6-cylinder, 266 horsepower engine. The 3.5-liter power plant will get you from 0 to 60 in a little over 7 seconds. That's really good for something this big and heavy. Unlike some other vehicles of this size, the braking is excellent, and while I wouldn't want to take the Sienna to a track, I can tell you it's a pleasure to drive in Gotham. Unlike some 3-row SUVs, the Sienna didn't make me feel like I was driving a really big toboggan when I had to make a sudden stop because a texting pedestrian thought their invisible iPhone force field would protect them on 7th Avenue. The Sienna starts in the high 20s and tops out in the high 40s, depending upon the options you choose. Our test vehicle was the front-wheel drive Sienna SE Premium. In this configuration, it's rated at 18 miles per gallon in the city and 25 on the highway. Options on our test car included heated leather seats, 3-zone climate control, navigation, and a host of other items to bring our total price as tested to $40,944. For Real World Test Drive, I'm Grant Winter reporting.